Hello there. My name is Andy. I'm Coach Andy to many people, and I am creating my first video as an answer to an email I got from a guy named Frank. Frank is a representation of the characteristics of many of the men I help. He's not a real person. Therefore, I'm not calling anybody out who I've actually coached or helped before. But I am going to address some of the questions that continue to come up in the different conversations that I've had with other guys. Frank also has a lot of characteristics of my own life. So I may slip into first person where I'm talking about me, when actually who I'm talking about is Frank. So let me start. I'll introduce you to who Frank is first. Frank is, at this video, he is a young man, probably 19, give or take. And the quote he gave me is, "The only thing I ever wanted is a loving wife to live and die with." And the question he asked me is, how can I attract the right girl for me? So who Frank is he grew up without feeling loved. In his family, in his friendship circles, in his school, in all of the social activities he did, he didn't feel like he belonged. He didn't feel like anybody wanted him there. He didn't feel like anybody would care if he dropped off the face of the earth. His parents didn't really show him love. His siblings would rather play with anybody but him. And he really didn't feel like anybody cared. As he hit puberty and realized what girls were for, he realized that the girls who had hit puberty a bit before him, as most girls do, had been dressing differently than they used to when they were all playing together as kids. Not that he ever got to play with them. But those girls were dressing differently. So as he hit puberty, he noticed these girls in a different way than he ever had before. So what that meant for him is that suddenly he was objectifying women, objectifying girls, the girls in his classroom, the girls in his school, especially the popular girls. Like most guys his age, he wanted to date one of the popular girls. And he didn't understand what that meant. He didn't know how to do that. He hadn't had friends for most of his childhood. He hadn't had friends growing up. He didn't feel loved, and he didn't know what love looked like. But that's what he wanted. Because he didn't have friends, he felt that a girl could fulfill all of his social needs. Having a girlfriend could be his best friend, could be his lover, could be all the things his mom never was, all the things his dad never was, all the things his brother and sister never were for him. He figured that having one girlfriend could fulfill all of those roles. And as often happens with the outcast and nerdy kids, one of these popular girls, every once in a while, so a couple or 3 times a year, a popular girl would sit down with him in the boot room, outside somewhere, off in a corner, but not quite private. Would sit down with him and try and help him figure out what was wrong and how to get friends. And unbeknownst to themselves, they didn't realize what they were doing for him. Not only did they help him as they wanted to, they also became the object of his fantasies. Each time one of these girls sat down with him, he would fantasize about her for the next 2 to 3 years afterwards, sometimes as long as 5 years. So for every time a girl sat down with him, say 2 or 3 times in a year, by the time he graduated high school, there was a whole list of girls that he'd fantasized about. And for most of them, the only conversation he had ever had was that pity conversation where they tried to help him have friends. And he objectified them for years afterwards. He built himself trying to become the man that each of these girls told him he should be. And every time another girl sat down with him, he tried to reconcile that with what the other girls had said. He tried to figure out how to become their perfect man. All he ever wanted was a girl. As he said, the only thing I ever wanted in life is a loving wife to live and die with. So he made it his life's purpose to find that girl. And he had nothing else. He didn't care about school. He didn't care about friends. He didn't care about his family. He didn't care about his siblings. He didn't care about anything else. All he wanted was that girl. That was his whole focus. Everything, every ounce of energy he had went to meeting that girl. When he did sit down, when he did get to talk to one of these girls, he asked all kinds of questions. And the more girls who talked to them over the years, the more he felt his questions were intelligent. The more intelligent he felt his questions were. The more he learned, the more he became, the more he tried to fit into the shell of what he thought those girls wanted. He never did date one of those popular girls. He never did date even one of the average girls. But in grade 11, he did meet a girl. She was another social reject like himself. They were locker neighbors who would often sit at their lockers in the secluded part of the school, and that's how they met. Because if she was sitting by her locker, he would he would not stop and stay at his locker. If he was sitting by his locker, she wouldn't either. And then after a while, they decided, fuck it. I don't remember who made the first move. It was probably her. But she stopped and she said hi, and they started talking. And not long after, they started going out on dates together. And for Frank, this was the beginning of a relationship that lasted 2.5 years for him. It was the culmination of all the things those popular girls had taught him, and none of them. Because all the things that he had tried to become to make a girl happy didn't make her happy. And all the things he came to expect from a girl to satisfy his needs, she never did. She didn't do any of the things he thought a girl would do, that the other girls told him girls would do when they felt loved. She didn't do any of those things. And none of the things that he did to make her feel loved seemed to work. But she said yes, and she wasn't leaving. So they stayed together for 2.5 years. When he moved to a different city, they kept dating. They would travel back and forth. Neither one of them with a car, so they would take the bus. And this is what love looked like for Frank. Eventually, as he grew older, he discovered that she didn't want what the other girls wanted. And when he realized that, and she realized that about him, they stopped dating. He moved away to another town that was much farther away and told her that he was breaking up with her when he did so. And he spent the next few years trying to find another girl, trying to date other popular girls, trying to talk to other popular girls, but now as an adult, they're not so willing to sit down and talk with a social reject. Whenever he did get a chance to talk to other girls, say at parties or when they were all stoned or drunk, they never said the same things that the popular girls did. As a matter of fact, as he thought about it, none of the girls ever said the same thing as any other girl. And he started to realize that all girls wanted something different. And as he started dating more girls later on in life, knowing that he could never become what each of them wanted, he just started demanding that they meet his needs. He just started being very clear about what he wanted and expecting them to do those things. Of course, that's not how life works, is it? So when Frank emailed me a while back and said, how can I attract the right girl for me? That's the question he asked. My advice to Frank is a few things. Stop trying to find the girl of your dreams and become the man of your dreams. Get in touch with your squishy insides. Get in touch with who the real you is inside. Figure out what you like and what you don't like. Figure out the people you want to be around. Figure out what you like about the world. Figure out what you like about yourself. Figure out what you like about the different circumstances in life, like money, family, relationships, the environment. Figure out where you value in those things. Figure out where you stand in those things and embrace that as a part of your identity. And while you're doing that, figure out the things you don't like about yourself, about the world, about the circumstances in your life, like family, money, and relationships. Figure out all the things you like and all the things you don't like and embrace those things. Become that guy, and don't be shy about it. Don't be shy about who you are and what you like and what you don't like. Stand up for yourself. Embrace who you are. And as you start doing this, you'll find a lot of your social circle will drop away. A lot of the people you've been surrounding yourself with will stop surrounding you. And over the course of time, you'll meet new people. And some of those people will like who you are. Many of them won't. Be true to what you are, who you are, and what you value. And eventually, you'll surround yourself with people who value those things as well. It can take time, years maybe. But once you do, there will be a girl in there who you can love and who will love you back. But she won't be the first person you meet. You'll first have to start surrounding yourself with people who think like you do and who are willing to give you a chance. Stop looking for the right girl. That's the wrong approach. It's not going to help. Because no matter who you find, even if you do find the perfect girl, you're not the man for her. As long as you're wearing a shell, as long as you're being something that isn't truly you, you're not the man for her. You can't attract the girl you want or anybody even close. If you want help learning how to do that, call me. That's what I do. I help guys learn who they are so that they can get what they want out of their lives. That's what I do. That's my purpose. That's how I surround myself with people that believe what I believe, by doing what I know is right, by helping other guys figure out what they don't want, with who they are and where they belong. Be who you are right now. It's okay to be who you are right now, even if that person is broken and lonely and rejected. Because who you are right now will change and evolve. And understand that sometimes who you are right now, you have to embrace that person in order to change and evolve in a direction you want to go. You have to be who you are in order to go where you're wanting to go. You can't go there by rejecting who you are. At the same time, be who you are, but don't attach uncomfortably to that. Don't attach so strongly to that when it's time to evolve, you won't give up on who you are. Let your values evolve. If you learn something new or figure out something new or decide something new, let that change you. That's okay. Once you have embraced who you really are, you can start to change the things about yourself that you want to change. And that's what evolution is about. Some of those changes will be drastic. Some of those changes will be huge. Some of those changes will be very, very big changes. And some of them will be tiny, and you won't even notice them. But embrace change. Embrace who you are first, right now. And then as you change and evolve that person, continue to embrace where you're at right now. Continue to love where you're at right now. Only by doing that can you surround yourself with like-minded people. And if you do that, people will attach to who you are inside, to your squishy insides, instead of all these external evolutions you're making, because they will start to understand who you are inside, and these external evolutions won't change them. Connect with the squishy insides, and you'll surround yourself with a circle of people who really care, who want to be around you, who value your life and your time. And one of those people will be this girl you're looking for. And only by being your authentic self, embracing who you are, and allowing yourself to change, will you find the right girl for you. That's how you get the girl you're looking for. Stop looking for her. Start looking for you. If you do that, you'll find what you're looking for. You'll get her. If you don't know how to do that, or don't know what it looks like, or want somebody to journey with you along the way, give me a call. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. I'm Coach Andy, and I can help you. Thank you very much.